The Dershow.
Were you heartened by the Supreme Court's decision to not even grant cert, not even grant review to this case to question gay marriage?
Oh, absolutely. Of course I was heartened, but of course I knew it was going to happen. I predicted it
9-0?
with 100% certainty. Why? First of all, it was a terrible case. It doesn't involve gay marriage. It involves some clerk who was fined, I don't know, a few $1,000s for not administering a gay marriage. So even if they wanted to reverse the gay marriage decision, which I don't think they're going to do, that would be a terrible case. Let me tell you why. There's an enormous difference between gay marriage and abortion. Gay marriage does not have any victims. Nobody should care that gay people are marrying and falling in love or having sex. It's nobody's effing business. Abortion, on the other hand, a third of the country thinks that you're killing a baby, you're killing a human being. That is not an irrational view. Many believe that abortion is not a victimless crime. There is a case for keeping the Supreme Court out of the abortion decision. There is no case for keeping the Supreme Court out of the gay marriage decision. Gay marriage is the easiest constitutional moral issue possible. The only thing that stops it is some of the absurdities of religion. But there's absolutely no plausible case against gay marriage. You can't say that about some of these other.
The plausible case is marriage is from God and it means something to religious people. It's really a religious construct, which of course isn't true. But that's why they feel the way they do. And that's what motivated the Judeo-Christian ethic in this country until the Obergefell case.
So they should get married to their opposite sex person. But, you know, I have to tell you, I have a story once. I hope it's not too upsetting for a podcast. But I was speaking at an Orthodox synagogue in Miami Beach, the Young Israel of Miami Beach, a modern Orthodox synagogue. And a woman got up and raised the question, and she said, "I think gay marriage is horrible. It's terrible." I said, "Why?" She said, "Well, you know, when I think of two men in bed together, it just horrifies me." So I said, "Ma'am, you're married, right?" She said, "Yes." I said, "I want to ask you a question. When you have sex with your husband, do you go on top or on bottom?" She said, "How dare you ask me that question? It's none of your business." I said, I think I've won this debate. And, you know, it's just not anybody's business how people have sex, what they do in bed, who they love, who they marry. But it is somebody's business if you have an abortion. If you believe, as a third of the country does, plausibly, that abortion, particularly late-term abortion, it kills a fetus. Now, I'm in favor of a woman's right to choose abortion because I balance the right of the woman to choose how to use her body over whatever rights a fetus might have. That's my view. But that's not a view I think necessarily the Constitution requires.
But how is it any different than gay marriage when you say almost a third of the country believes a lot of stupid things, right? Flat earthers, we're only 2,000 years old, you know, as a planet. I mean, there's a lot of dumb shit out there that people believe. Why isn't this standard that what science says or what we know within other factual matters?
By the way, it's 5,786 years. I know exactly to the day because I read it in the Bible. Look, you're entitled to have that view. The question is, it's not rational for me to tell you what to do in the privacy of your own home. It is rational. Maybe it's wrong, but I understand when somebody who's been brought up as a very religious Catholic or as an Orthodox Jew looks at me with tears in their eyes and they say, "How can you kill a baby? How can you abort an 8-month pregnant woman's baby?" I understand that. That's a plausible argument. But when somebody says to me, "I don't like the fact that two people who are male are in bed," that's not a plausible argument. Now, who am I to say what's a plausible argument and what's not? Well, the people have to make that decision.
Well, I think I think we agree on that. Well, first of all, I would say you're a pretty good arbiter of what's plausible and what isn't. It's one of the reasons I have learned at your knee for all these years. But I think it's the same thing in our society, the 8 month, the 9 month, the it's a baby never worked for me because it's never a baby.